Hi everybody, welcome to Chat and Craft with Lorraine. I'm Lorraine Tierney and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the northeast section of the United States. I'm in Warner, New Hampshire, and I love to make cards, I love to share cards, and I love to help other people make cards. It's Sunday, October 13th at about 7 p.m. and I'm coming on to show you how to make this adorable little Hershey candy holder. I posted a picture of this a little while ago and people were asking for directions. And it's kind of hard to write out all the directions, so I thought a video would help. And then I'll send this out to my email subscribers. So there's a link in this description if you want to sign up to receive my email. I'd love to send it to you. I email a couple times a week and have a 12 weeks of Christmas special email going on right now. All right, so let's get started with making this. Please say hello if you're watching. I love to have you interact with me while I'm making this. And if you are interested in liking and sharing this video, I also appreciate that. Hi, Mary. Hi, Betsy. Nice to see you. All right, I'm going to switch my view over and we are going to get started. And you could cut this piece of paper down to make one treat holder, the cardstock part, one at a time, but you can score two at a time if you leave this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to try to move my camera up just a little without making things too crazy here. Okay, how's that? So as much as I hate to, I'm going to open the arm on, hi Melanie, hi Sharon, open the arm on my cutter, and we're going to cut an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. We're going to cut the long way to 9 3/4. So we're just cutting off a little bit, and then to score two of these at once, we're going to cut it to 7 because each one is 3.5. So we're going to cut it to 7. Okay. And there's a fair amount of scoring on this. So I'm going to switch to my scoreboard, which I have right here. It's going to wobble on this. Let's see. Okay, there we go. This comes with 3 markers, which I have up here at the top. And then I've used 3 little pieces of tape. These are not as precise as the markers, but they give me an idea of where I should be looking for that score line, because trust me, I've been not scoring these all correctly at first. Hi, Lorraine. Good morning. Happy Monday. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is score it at 1 1/4. One and a quarter. I got to get my paper a little closer. 3 1/4, which you can see right there. 3 1/4. And I'm using the smaller end of the stylus. I feel like that fits better. 4 1/2. 6 1/2. 7 1/8. So that's the first mark. 7 1/8. That was 3 1/4, 4 1/2. Yeah. And then 9 1/8. Okay. Now, hi Joanne. Now we're going to turn this, and usually it's about 3.5 inches wide. And so you would do 2 score lines. You would do it at 1 1/4 and 2 1/4. Whoops. I didn't stay in the line, and I'll show you what to do about that. 2 1/4. And now I'm going to turn it so that I can do 1 1/4 and 2 1/4 on this other side because we're going to cut this in half now. All right, and that's all the scoring that we need to do. And get my trimmer back. Yes, it's for chocolates, Lorraine. It makes this little Hershey Nugget treat holder. I don't know if you can get Hershey Nuggets. Hi, Martha, in Australia. But I can always send you some if you need them. All right, so now we're going to cut this at 3.5. And we have the basics for making 2 of these holders. Now, where'd my stylus go? I made a mistake here, and I have a partial line that's incorrect. So I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to rub on that line a little bit. And I can use the bigger stylus for that, and I can rub that out. And that's not going to show because we're going to cover that. Right, you need to be able to practice with this. Yes, it's important to practice. Okay, so I've made myself a template here. This is one I've written notes on and I've done things, and I would suggest you make yourself one that is a template also, so that you can see what you're doing and be able to check yourself. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold this with the narrowest set of rectangles on our right hand side. Okay, and you'll notice there's a square, a rectangle, a square, a rectangle, and then 2 skinny rectangles, or yeah, tall ones, and then another rectangle. The first thing we are going to do is cut right on the score line that's to the left of 1, 2, 3 spaces. We're going to just cut off these 3 spaces all together. So it's a little rectangle, a bigger rectangle, and then one more skinny rectangle. And we're just going to take that off. We don't need it. All right, and now we are going to cut on these score lines. The ones that look like squares, I'm sorry, I don't know why my phone is doing that. I have it on Do Not Disturb, but apparently that didn't work. All right, the squares are going to get mitered. They're going to get their corners or their sides cut at a little angle, a little triangle to come off of those. The rectangles are going to stay just straight cuts. Okay, so just the squares get a little bit of a mitered corner. And that helps them just fold in with a little less bulk. Okay, so there we have that. Now I'm going to start on this side. Okay, this piece right here, these 2 bigger rectangles, that's going to be our handle at the top. So I'm going to cut this very first square off, and you'll see why I needed to do a video. It's just too many directions, but you'll be able to come back and look at this. Okay, so then we're going to miter it just a little bit on both sides, and we're going to make it just a tad shorter, like 1/8 of an inch off of that. I don't know why every time I start talking on these, I start coughing. Okay, here we go. So that's our handle. And that's all we need on this whole top piece. We're going to cut everything else off right up to this double big rectangle. Oh, I didn't want you to see my template, Mary. It's a mess, but there you go. If you want to take a screenshot of that. I will include a picture of the template in my email. So now I'm going to take everything off the top, right up to that handle. And if I were making 20 of these or 10 of these, I would do all of this cutting like this. Then I would get my next one and do the cutting and kind of do it assembly line. Okay, so here I have a little hanging chad. Okay, so here is our template. That's a cleaner one than this one. Okay, and now we're going to start with some decorating on this. So we need 2 pieces to decorate this little handle. You'll want paper on both sides of it. And these are 2 1/8 tall, like this, by 1 7/8 wide. But I want to do my little fancy corners on this. So I'm going to use this triple punch. This punch is on clearance right now. I think it's $14 on clearance. It used to be $24. I use this punch all the time, especially for this fancy corner and then the ribbon slit. So I'm going to put this corner in up against a little guide there. Get that in. I have to fold that underneath to get it out of the way so that it can go in easily with that guide. When that was folded up, it was getting in the way. Okay, so it won't get punched. So I punch that corner, then I flip it over and punch the other corner, and that way they match. If you don't flip them over, the design doesn't match. Okay, and now I'm going to do the tops of both of these pieces of paper. Same thing, flip it over, and that will go on. And then this one. Oops, I almost forgot to flip it over. I hope you were yelling at me. Flip it over, flip it over. Hi, Carol. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's put these on. I am using tear and tape for adhesive on a lot of this project because I think that holds up just a little bit better even. But for the decorating, the DSP here, I'm going to use the glue. There's no stress put on this part, and I love the way that just lines up like that. All right, so now I'm going to fold all my little flaps and give them a little burnish, little crease there. And these, the reason I put my paper on first is there was a score mark under there that we don't need to burnish. And the easiest way to not burnish that is by having it covered up. Okay, so now we are going to put some glue on this. So the first thing we're going to do is fold our handle over to the right and put glue on this little the little tab right there. And I'm just putting this piece of paper under there so you can see the tab because it blends in with the other thread. And now I'm going to take the next, where it has a score line right next to that, and I'm just going to fold it over and let that dry. Okay, so that's making part of our box already. Okay, whoops. And now, let's see. So it's glued. I closed it back up the way it was glued, and I'm just flipping it over. If you opened it up like this to look at it, like I did, you're going to close it back down so that this is on top of your handle. Flip it over and you have a little spot right there, and that's also going to get glue. And then you just fold in that last piece. And you can just, I like the liquid glue because as you can see, I'm getting it right in place. So you have it just like that. So on my template, this says handle. It's upside down. And then I put trim here because we trimmed a little bit, glue and glue. Those are the only two places you have to put glue on it to get it all folded up. Those two little spots right next to your handle. Okay, now this is the back because there's my seam. So I'm going to put the sides down, the back in, and then I'll fold the front to the back to hide as many seams as I can. Okay, so sides in, then the back down, and then I'm folding this up. Okay, and that's our little carrying case. And it's got a cute little, oh, I forgot one thing. I forgot my little hole in the handle. So if I had done it when it was flat, I could have used this little strip, but, hi Julie, I didn't. So I'm going to use my crocodile from a million years ago and just punch a little hole in it. There we go. That has a pretty good reach and not too big a hole. So there's my holder. Okay, let's see. We need to pretty up the sides of this. I did not do a very good job getting my glue on that. I guess that's stuck pretty good. All right, so I have a piece of DSP patterned paper that's 7/8 wide, and it's about 7 3/4 long. I don't have a real exact length. We'll see how this works out. We might have to trim this. I know that 6 3/4 was a little short. And so I tried 7 3/4. So I'm putting a little bit of tear and tape on the wrong side on the ends. And I'm going to take that off. Okay, and I'm going to make sure this is right side up. Okay, so I'm going to start, they're sticky under there. I'm going to put it on just like that. And then kind of fold it around, creasing it a little bit as we're going. And then I'll line that side up. There you go. And if you want, you could put more tear and tape. I probably should have put a little bit of tear and tape on the sides. I'm going to show you a trick that my good friend Joanne showed me. And if you put a little glue on the edge of a piece of paper, I can put that glue under there and get some glue in and stick that down. Just when you want a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do one more side. This will forever be the Joanne glue tip in my book. Okay, so now my paper is all adhered to my little box, and I'm going to put in some Hershey Nuggets. I've covered 2 already, and then I have 2 to show you, and I even have a few more in the bag. All right, so again, on the wrong side, on each end, I have a little bit of tear and tape that I'm going to take off. I cut these 1 inch, and I do 3 1/4. Some people do 3 inches, and if you're doing, if you have a 6 by 6 paper, 3 inch works better. But I like it with a little extra overlap, so I do 3 1/4. I stuck that side down, and then I just roll that around and pull it tight and stick that end down. I'll do that one more time. Some tear and tape. There you go. Oh, I'm having trouble. There we go, getting the paper off. So because it's a little bit longer, I start it just about 1/4 inch from the edge. Give it a good press, pull it nice and tight, and then make sure you get your edges lined up, and that is ready to go. So it's kind of like a little milk carton or a little carry basket. I have a little piece of holly that I want to put on it, but I think I'm going to put the bow on first. This is the holly and berries are from the Reindeer Fun bundle. And this is a pack of ribbon that is also still on the clearance rack. I think you get both of these rolls for $3.20. I mean, you can't do better than that. There's a crumb cake one and a real red one. And I haven't even opened this real red one yet, but it will be perfect for this. So I'm going to take, I just want a little bit that's going to stick up. I'm going to cut my ends at an angle, and then I'll put one end through. And I got to show you this tip. I can't remember where I saw this, but do you like to tie a little bow around your ribbon and the ribbon is all wiggling and you don't know how to keep it together or anything else? Well, put a little binder clip on it and it stays just like that. And now we'll use a little bit of the real red and white, kind of the peppermint twist. The peppermint twist twine. This is back in stock. I don't think these peppermint embellishments are back yet, but the twine is. Okay, so I'm going to tie a bow. I think I have a bit more twine than I really need, but you never want to skimp too much. Okay, and then take that little binder clip off. There you go. And I think I want to put a couple of these little peppermint things on my holly berries. I think they look great on the berries. What do you think? Can you see those? See if we can get that to focus. There you go. Okay, so now there's the back. I'm going to put that on just like that. I think I'll use a dimensional if I can find, well, I only have mini ones here, but I guess that will work. Put a mini, yeah, I think that's actually the size I need. A mini dimensional right there. And put my holly on. You could also put a little sentiment here that says something like "for you" or "you're so sweet" or "a little treat." We have lots of little sentiments you could put there, and that's how you would decorate your little treat bag. So there's one in the holiday papers. These are all from the Reindeer Suite. This one's in the Countryside Inn papers, the blue, and they hold the 4 things. And so like I said, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go on and try to put together a short email. It will just have the directions for this treat holder in it. And it will have some pictures to help you make it. So it's a lot of fun. I hope you'll give it a try. I know if you make it for Thanksgiving guests or Christmas guests, they'll love seeing these at their place setting. You could put their name on a little tag, and you could have a lot of fun with these. They're great to leave on a co-worker's desk. So I hope that you like it. Check out that clearance rack still. It's got some deals on it. That punch, this punch is $14, I think. The ribbons that I used are $3. That's pretty good. All right. If there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know, and have a great Sunday night. All right. Bye-bye.